I've said some bad things about meme character mods in the past, complaining about their superficiality, how many of them are low quality projects spewed out in a few hours to capitalise on the most recent funny internet brain rot before it inevitably fades into the background to be forgotten to time, and how most of them just sort of exist to be there, another number in ever increasing list of mods hosted on the SRB2 forums. But you know what? I have matured and I have mellowed out. I've come to the realisation that if people want to spend time on making such classics as owl.png or German 985 into SRB2, who am I to complain about that? And besides, there's a fair number of modded meme characters who don't fit into this umbrella of negativity, like Among Us Imposter actually being really good, while the few OC characters who, while being humorous in nature, are at least a little more exciting than just a flat PNG of whatever weirdo the internet has decided to hyperfixate on that passing week. That's sort of the case with the 3 characters sent to me as the last of 3 previews I've recently been sent over Discord, this one in particular by one Aiden the Idiot. They're not great, with very limited movesets, but Aiden did say to me that they were more spriting practice than fully realised characters, so keep that in mind when I'm listing my complaints. But without further ado, let's get into it. The 3 characters that all come as part of this mod are Slinky, a variant of Sonic, Crowles, a variant of the Crawler Badnik, and Red Crowles, which, well, you figure it out. I'll start with Slinky, because he's the most unique and the closest to an actual character. Like most versions of Sonic, his game plan is all about incredible speed, though Slinky goes above and beyond even the extreme levels of speed that is commonplace in this group to truly reach the threshold of the bizarre. I suppose it's typical that after the last 2 previews featured characters who were slower than average, that the universe would deign to balance that out with someone so fast that they're nigh uncontrollable. But yeah, Slinky is very fast. It is all down to his 2 abilities, one passive and one active, as well as some slightly modified stats, though that's mostly just increased acceleration and an increased top speed. The passive is Fast Mode. Guess what vanilla ability it functions like? If you guess Boost Mode, congratulations, go give yourself a pat on the back. Fast Mode is indeed Boost Mode, though it's simply objectively stronger. You accelerate faster when using it, you enter it more quickly when starting from a standstill, and the speed you can reach very quickly overtake vanilla Boost Mode at even its strongest. It's honestly a little difficult to control Slinky a lot of the time because of this. Not only is being in fast mode obviously a prelude to near constant running into walls due to your sheer speed far surpassing your mere mortal reflexes, but Slinky is extremely zealous with entering it, meaning that holding forward when jumping will probably cause you to go much further than you'd expect, as you'll almost certainly enter fast mode halfway through the jump and begin moving forward much faster than you were at the beginning of the jump. Slinky's second ability is the Rebound Dash. His character select page claims that you'll know what this is, but I've never seen it before, so let me try and give an explanation. Best as I can describe, the Rebound Dash is effectively an air boost, massively increasing your forward momentum like a Thok, but being much more controllable. The Thok obviously cuts off after about a second, whereas the Rebound Dash lasts as long as you hold jump, and you can still move from side to side when using it. That would theoretically make it better than the Thok for platforming, but Slinky's sheer speed means that it is actually very poor for this, because you'd certainly just go flying right past whatever you're trying to land on. Maybe if you had a stomp to cut off your momentum, it'd be better for platforming, but as of right now, it's actually just best for entering fast mode instantaneously, as if you didn't enter it fast enough already. The rebound part of the Rebound Dash comes into play if you hit a wall while still using it, as you'll bounce off the wall and gain some height, which can be repeated a second time for the same result. This means that, albeit quite situationally, the Rebound Dash can be used to gain some height, as long as you can adjust for the rebound and still reach wherever you're going. And as for the other 2 characters that come in the mod, Blue and Red Crowles, they're about as far to the other end of the spectrum to Slinky as you can get, especially when it comes to speed. To be honest, I really have nothing to talk about here. Both Crowles have 2 abilities, the Spin Dash and Double Jump, but both of them act exactly as you'd expect, and the only way they are different to what you'd experience anywhere else is how they relate to the incredibly slow speeds that the Crowles move at. Blue Crow moves at the same speed as the Blue Crawler, which is actually so slow that you can actually use the spin dash even when moving at top speed, because it still falls inside that very small window between standing still and going too quickly, where SRB2 will decide, you know what, I reckon that, despite the player moving slightly, they probably wanted to use the spin dash and not the roll. Do you understand how slow you need to go for that to occur? Blue Crow can only surpass that speed by using a spin dash. Their standard top speed still fits into that. You end up in this bizarre control scheme where you're using the spin dash as your sole movement option, almost like Sonic Labyrinth for the 3 people who have played that game and understand what I'm talking about, with the double jump being used to allow Crow to actually jump high enough to get over the most basic obstacles possible. Anything higher than these Greenflower mountain blocks? Forget about it, you ain't making that jump, not in a million years. Red Crow is actually even worse to play than this, because they are technically slightly better. Like how the Red Crawler is very slightly faster than the blue one, Red Crow is very slightly faster than the Blue Crow, which actually moves them out of that very slim window where you can spin dash while moving. This means that you do need to stop to perform a spin dash, which actually, despite Red Crow being faster than Blue Crow, means they take longer to finish levels. But this strange set of movesets that are so entirely opposite to one another, which lack many abilities and are all difficult to control in their own stupid, weird little ways, aren't the main focus of the mod. That would be their sprites, according to Aiden, and you know what? I don't think that they're particularly great either. Slinky certainly has the odd sprite which is particularly charming, like his hanging sprites in Arid Canyon or its damage sprites, but his main one, the one you'll see 85% of the time, isn't great. His spikes are shown as this weird crease line on the back of his head, and while I think the very fast walking animation during run mode is charming, especially with the constant sound, the head is what my eyes are drawn to, and this wavy line is all I really register. In general, Slinky and the Crowles both suffer from poor animations. Slinky has good individual sprites, but he lacks many animations tying them together, so they feel really disjointed, while the Crowles both have one sprite. There are no animations, all actions just repeat the same one sprite. That might be because, as the console told me when I first booted up the mod, because yes, I got this warning again, a bunch of sprites didn't load properly, so maybe there should be more that we're not seeing. As it is, I think individual sprites are charming, but they lack a connective glue that allows me to really say, yeah, these are top tier graphics. And on a final note, one thing I found quite funny, albeit a bit odd, is that Slinky will occasionally play different audio when dying or taking damage. I think it's based off whether or not you're in fast mode, but sometimes upon being hit, Slinky will play, while upon dying, he'll play unique. I know some people are even more vehemently set in their ways of hating meme characters in SRB2, so this might not appeal to you, but I think this is a relatively harmless implementation of them. Overall, I can't really say Slinky and the Crowles, which I just realised sounds like some obscure band, is particularly good. The movesets are all over the place and not very unique, which Aiden did warn me about, but even the main selling point, the sprites, aren't great. They just need some more animation to make them more alive. I'd also like to ask that the jumping sound is replaced because... just have a listen. Now imagine that for another 20 minutes. That's what I had to hear. I can't say this would be a mod I'll actively look for upon release, but maybe if you're some speedrun who just wants to do some ridiculous times, you might think about playing as Slinky for a little while. Or maybe you could do some challenge run playing as Crowles. I'm thinking of some future content ideas now. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video, and ciao.